make your living full-time right now, making videos for YouTube? How'd that start?
It was back when Nabil and I were going around. We were speaking and debating, but there were people in other parts of the world who would say, "I can't be there. Could you post it on YouTube?" So we started posting stuff on YouTube, but it was kind of like secondary. It was like an afterthought. And when something would happen, if something would happen to us or something like that, we would post it on YouTube. But YouTube was really still secondary to us. It wasn't until we posted a video. This is when that guy Terry Jones was down in Florida, and he was announcing that he was having a Burn the Quran Day. Right?
I remember your video on that. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
David, what are you doing? Those aren't Qurans, are they?
No.
You're not going to burn these books, are you?
Well, the thought had crossed my mind.
No! Don't burn these books. Books are filled with valuable information. Here, let me randomly pick one and open to a random page. Uthman sent to every Muslim province one copy of what they had copied and ordered that all the other Quranic materials, whether written in fragmentary manuscripts or whole copies, be burnt.
Let me see that. Uthman ordered that all other Quranic materials be burnt. So there's already been a Burn the Quran Day. But why, Nabil?
I don't know, David. Perhaps one of these other books that are filled with valuable information can help. It's a good thing you didn't burn them. Let's take a look at one at random.
Oh, here's one. Sahih Muslim.
Yeah, I debated the guy on whether Christians should be burning books.
Wow.
I actually had a televised debate with him. But at the same time I'm debating this guy, I was also thinking, well, I mean, Muslims are flipping out because this guy's about to burn Qurans, but Uthman, the third of the rightly guided caliphs, burned all the Qurans. He burned them all. And so I was like wondering, well, why is no one pointing that out? So Nabil and I made a video called The Original Burn the Quran Day. And in that video, we basically go through, and we're doing it humorously, but we go through the Muslim sources showing that according to the Muslim sources, there were so many differences by the time you got to the third caliph, the third leader after Muhammad, that he decided he had to burn all the evidence. So he burned all the Qurans and then issued his authoritative Qurans. And so we made a video containing that information. And then, so Nabil and I posted that on YouTube. And then I don't even remember at this point how long it went by, but 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. Some time went by and I looked and it had 100,000 views. It had reached 100,000 views, which, it's got way more than that now. There are other videos that have, way more than that. But what was interesting was I clicked on YouTube analytics, the analytics that was showing where people were watching it. And I started looking down through the countries, and at the top was the United States, and then it would be like Great Britain and so on. But I got down to like 6th or 7th place, and it said something like 3.6% or 3.8% Pakistan. And I thought, wait a minute, 3.8% of 100,000? That's like 3,800 people. It's 3,800 people in Pakistan. I could never tell that many people that in Pakistan. They would form a mob and they would kill me if I tried to tell them all this information about the Quran. And so that was kind of like something, a switch went on, right? When I realized, wait a minute, for 14 centuries, Muslim leaders have been able to keep their people insulated from hearing any criticisms of what they're telling them. And they're able to keep their people insulated from hearing any serious presentation of an alternative to Islam. But all of a sudden, the power of the internet and technology allows us to break through that and speak to people directly in Pakistan, directly to people in Saudi Arabia. And so I was just thinking at that time, man, I'm going around doing lots of speaking. Maybe I should focus more on YouTube. And then over the, in the following years, I just focused more and more and more on YouTube until it was pretty much all I was doing, because it was always in my mind, hey, I could go speak to 100 or 200 or 500 people, but I make a YouTube video and 50,000 or 100,000 or 500,000 watch it there. So focusing on that.
Wow. So you built it up. How many videos do you have now on your YouTube channel?
Over 1,000. I'm not sure the exact count, but yeah.
Wow. And how many views do you get a month now on average?
If I post consistently, I've been up. If I post almost every day throughout a month, I will get between 4 and 5 million. If I'm posting more slowly, it could be 2 to 3, something like that. But yeah, basically millions of views a month.
Maybe you could reach more people if you just went around on the speaking circuit and lectured at conferences and churches.
Yeah. No, that's what's cool, but because I mean, like the technology improves things, right? I mean, during the time of Jesus, you had to speak on the side of a hill and sort of shout down to as many people as you could, and then we eventually get the printing press, and you could put out more stuff that way. Then we get radio, then television, but for television, you need a television studio, and now any idiot with a camera can record stuff and send it around the world. And so we are going to be the generation that
He
preaches
doesn't
to
know how true that is. I mean, here we are, I'm making a video that's going around the world.
And so we are the generation that are going to be able to share the gospel with more people than anyone else in history, right? I mean, a generation ago we said Billy Graham, right? But guess what? We're going to have greater technology, and we're going to be able to share the gospel with more people because of technology. And so it's not that we're any better. We're better presenters of the gospel or anything. We just have access to things that earlier generations didn't. I mean, no one could have dreamed that you could talk to someone in Saudi Arabia from your cell phone.
So think of how many people Billy Graham was able to reach. Sometimes he'd have these huge crowds, maybe even of 1 million people in a crowd, but now you're reaching.
Oh, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the people who are going to be coming along.
I'm just thinking all the people you're reaching. Do you ever get death threats?
Do I? Yeah. I used to post them. I would post them in like batches of like 10 or 15 or something like that at a time. But yeah, they say they're gonna, kill me, of course, and do all kinds of things to me, rape my wife, kill my wife, kill my kids, things like that. But they never managed to do it.
I'll be telling people about you and tell them about that one time you had the guy said he's going to come kill you, and you said, well, this weekend I'm going to be down in Orlando at the First Baptist Church, and I've got a lunch break at noon. How about if I meet you out in the parking lot and you can kill me there, and if you don't, then what? Fill in the rest.
I don't even remember this. That happened multiple times. I've done that multiple times. One guy said if I met him down in Times Square, he'd kill me. So I went down there and I get on my camera. Okay, I'm here. Here's the time. I'm here. So that happened there. Another time, a guy said he was gonna kill me in Manhattan. I told him which train station I'd be at. He never showed up. I think the time it was funny because when it would happen in churches, I would say, okay, here's where I'm gonna be, but then I would record at the beginning of my presentation in the church. I would start off and say, okay, before we get started, are there any jihadis here? Is Ibrahim here? Ibrahim? No Ibrahim? And I'd be recording myself. Okay, Ibrahim, I told you where I'd be and you're not here. And so, yeah.
I guess the people inside felt safe then, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's just awesome the way. And now you're helping others, build their YouTube channels and.
Yeah, well, really, I look forward to it, right? Because I mean, we're kind of learning this after we learned other things, right? Mm-hmm. We had other ways of doing things, and now we're trying to get better and better at this. But the next generation, they're growing up in it, right? This is going to be normal for them. They're learning this from the time they're kids, and so I think the next generation is going to be doing it even better. And so, I want to give other people as much help as I can, so that they don't have to learn everything over again. You know what I mean?
So, you've gone from attempted murder, cold-blooded murder,
pretty cold-blooded,
to now a Christian crusader.
Yep.
From cold-blooded murderer to Christian crusader.
Yeah.
David Wood. It's cool too. With your background, how you did try to kill your dad, as violent as you were. I remember, when we all lived up in Virginia Beach years ago, before we moved down here, that we'd tell people we would have left our kids with you. If we went out and you wanted to babysit, we would thought nothing of leaving them alone with you. Of course, we didn't like our kids, but I mean, we would have felt totally confident. I mean, because Christ has just transformed your life completely. It's amazing.
I did always think that was a little weird, though, right? Like with my wife marrying me and stuff, right? And she said, I just feel like I could trust this guy with my life. And I would always be thinking, yeah, but I mean, suppose you're 99% sure that I'm okay and that I'm a new creature in Christ and stuff. Aren't you like slightly concerned that that I'm still mental? I thought the same
Yeah.
thing. I thought the same thing with Nabil. I'm like, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
I wouldn't fully trust me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because the consequences are steep if
Yeah.
if you were lying or weren't really
Yeah.
transformed. But just like anything in life, we have to go with probabilities, right? We can have 100% certainty with very little. Anyway, man, appreciate it. Love what you're doing.